Good morning everyone, especially to you sir. Good morning. For today, I'm gonna discuss about the learner-centered psychological principles or LCP. Okay, so me and you are the learner and we are the center of instruction. The world of instruction revolves around us. These principles are intended to apply to all learners from children to teachers, to administrators, and to parents, and to community members involved in our educational system. There are 14 learner-centered principles and it's divided into this referring, which is cognitive and metacognitive, motivational and affective, developmental and social, and the last, individual differences factors. So, as you can see, this is the 14 LCP and it is divided into 4. And each of one has a factors. So first cognitive and metacognitive. There are 6 factors. So first is a nature of the learning process. So when we say nature of learning process, the learning of a complex subject matters is most effective when it is an intentional process of constructing meaning from information and experiences. For example, successful learners are active. So they are active, the goal and to construct the meaning, information, and experiences. So the next is goals of learning process. So in these factors, the successful learner over time and with support and instructional guidance can create meaningful, coherent representation of knowledge. So, educators can assist learners in creating meaningful learning goals that are consistent with both personal and educational aspiration and interest. Next is construction of knowledge, which is the successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. So knowledge widen and deepen as students continue to build links between new information and experiences under existing knowledge base. Next is strategic thinking. So when we say strategic thinking, it is a learning, it is the successful learner can create and use a repertoire to thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. So, the successful learner use strategic thinking in their approach to learning reasoning, problem solving, and the concept of learning. Next is thinking about thinking. When we say thinking about thinking, higher order strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operations facilitate creative and critical thinking. So, successful learner can reflect on how they think and learn. Set reasonable learning or performance goals, select a potential appropriate learning strategies or method. Next is a context of learning. When we say context of learning, it is a learning is influenced by environmental factors including cultures, technology, and instructional properties. So, in context of learning, we have our own cultures, technology, and instructional practices. And learners does not occur in a vacuum. So, technologies and instructional practices must be appropriate in learners' level of prior knowledge. So in motivational and effective factors, there are three principles. So first, it is motivational and emotional influence on learning. So motivation to learn in turn to influence by the individual emotion, states, belief, intersect, and goals and habits of thinking. So to reach internal world of thoughts, belief, goals, and expectation for success, a failure can exchange to interfere with the learner quality of thinking and information processing. Next is intrinsic motivation to learn. The learner's creativity, higher order thinking, and natural curiosity all contribute to motivation to learn. Intrinsic motivation is stimulated by tasks of optional novelty and difficulty. So curiosity, we have our own curiosity. So flexible and insightful thinking and creativity are major indicators of the learner. Intrinsic motivation to learn. So next is a effect and motivation on effort. So when we say these factors are acquisition of complex knowledge and skills, requires extended learner effort and guided practices. So effort is another major indicator of motivation to learn. So next is in a developmental and social factor, there are two kinds of principles. First is a developmental influence on learning. When we say developmental influence on learning, it is an individual there are different opportunities and constraints of learning. Learning is most effective when differences development within and across physical